Welcome back to the crypto channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is still within the larger bearish trend, we are actually seeing the price hold and bounce from this critical area of support on the daily time frame, while a new signal is flashing on this Bitcoin chart, potentially repeating history. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum as usual later in the video, which is now holding above this critical level on the price chart. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the super trend indicator on the 4-day Bitcoin chart is still currently sitting in the red, so nothing's changed over the last 1 day on this chart. And taking a look at the 2-day Bitcoin chart, the same can be said about this chart as well. Over the last 1 day, nothing has really changed. And so despite what's happening on smaller time frames in the shorter term, which once again, the short term can flip between bullish and bearish pretty much every few days, despite what's happening in the short term, the longer term trend or the larger trend on these larger time frames, at least as of right now, has not yet reversed out of this bearish trend, because in order to expect that and more of a bullish reversal, a bull run that could last for many months, we need to first see a breakout above at least this line of resistance, which is currently sitting at around 66,000, and ideally we need a breakout above around 67 to 68,000 to be really confident that we're heading back in the bullish direction on the larger time frames in more of a bull run. And so in case you're new to all of this, it's important to understand the difference between the different time frames. Just because, say, one short-term time frame is flashing a bit of a bullish signal right now, that does not mean all time frames are bullish. That could just mean a slight pump in the short term during a larger bearish trend, as we've seen time and time again over the last half a year or so. And so not much has changed on these larger time frames. So getting straight into the daily Bitcoin chart. And over the last 1 day, we've seen a slight move to the upside again in the DXY after the previous massive spike to the upside in the DXY that we saw earlier this week and especially last week. And so as I've said, even before we saw that move in the DXY and before we saw all of this dump in the price of Bitcoin over the last 1 to 2 weeks, if we see a spike to the upside in the DXY, that is a bearish signal. So like I warned about before we saw the bearish price action, this means we should be expecting bearish price action soon. And that's exactly what we saw as expected. And with the DXY still looking bullish, just keep in mind, this is still currently a bearish signal for Bitcoin and crypto. But obviously the price does not move in a straight line. So we can see the occasional little bounce here in the short term, here and there, during more of a bearish trend. So just keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, some good news over the last 1 day is that we did not end up seeing the daily candle close confirm below this area of support, because obviously if you watched my last video here on the channel, the price of Bitcoin was trading below this area of support, but we never actually confirmed the daily candle close below this support. And once again, this support is sitting in between around 60.2k to 61.2k, give or take, so around 60 to 61,000, and we confirmed the daily candle close just above that lower end of this area of support. So at least for now, we are still holding that area as support on the Bitcoin price chart. And now if we were to see a confirmed break with a daily candle close below this area, and especially if we flip that area into new resistance by seeing a rejection like that, then in that case, under those circumstances, we'll likely see a move down towards the next significant area of support here on the daily Bitcoin chart, which is sitting in between around 56,000 to 57,000. But once again, that's only if we confirm a break below this support at around 60 to 61,000, which for now has not yet happened. We're still holding onto that area. And as for resistance, in case we see another bounce from this area of support, we still have some resistance at around 63,000 and some decent resistance closer towards around 64.2k to 64,500, and massive resistance in between around 67 to 68,000. And so that's really one of the main reasons as to why we need to see a confirmed breakout with candle closes on the larger time frames above 68,000 in order to be confident that things are really flipping much more bullish again in terms of a longer term trend, not just a short term bullish trend during a larger bearish trend. And with that being said, zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 6-hour Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, we are bouncing from very close to oversold territories, because like I said in my last video here on the channel, the 6-hour Bitcoin RSI was once again getting very close to oversold territories, which means we were getting close to running out of room to the downside here in the RSI and the price action. And so as I said yesterday, we should be expecting at some point in the next 1 or 2 days, we're likely going to see at least some sort of bounce or sideways consolidation. So basically a bit of a break or a relief from all of the bearish price action. I said that yesterday that we should be expecting that at some point in the next 1 to 2 days. And this is so far already starting to play out as expected. Because obviously, as we can see here, these trends do not move in a straight line. For example, in this bullish trend, we hit overbought multiple times, and then we see slight pullbacks or sideways consolidations during the bullish trend in order to reset the RSI, giving us more room to the upside later on. Just like how in more of a bearish trend, we can see oversold signals or close to oversold signals, meaning we're running out of room to the downside in the imminent short term due to see a bit of a reset again in the RSI, meaning a slight bounce or some choppy sideways price action over the next few days, but this can technically still occur during a bearish trend. It just means maybe for the next couple of days or so, we should be expecting a slight relief from this bearish price action here. But as I also said in my last video here on the channel, not only was the RSI approaching oversold territories, on top of that, we were also forming a bullish divergence pattern, as I explained in my last video, and this has now been confirmed here on the 8-hour chart, and it's also visible on the 6-hour chart, because as you can see here, we've already confirmed the lower lows in the price of Bitcoin in these candle closes, as I also explained in my last video, but now we have actually confirmed the higher lows in place here in the 8-hour Bitcoin RSI, and once again, this is also the case on the 6-hour Bitcoin RSI as well. And so now that this bullish divergence has confirmed on the 8-hour chart, this means that we should be expecting most likely a slight bullish relief or at least some choppy sideways price action. So once again, a bit of a break or relief from all of this bearish price action here, most likely going to play out at least over around half a week, maybe a week or so. But essentially over that sort of time period, I do expect a bit of a break or relief from all of this bearish price action. And the last time we saw a bullish divergence confirm and play out on the 8-hour Bitcoin chart was right back here near the beginning of September, and that resulted in a decent bullish relief over the next couple of weeks. But ultimately, we don't always see that exact outcome every time from a bullish divergence. Sometimes it's just a slight bounce or a bit of choppy sideways price action. So just keep that in mind. But once again, at least over the next half a week or so, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a week or so, I do expect a slight relief or at least a sideways consolidation. So a break from all of the bearish price action as the most likely scenario moving forward. But remember, this can still occur during the larger bearish trend, which is why we need to see those other confirmation signals, like for example, confirmed breakout above 66,000 or 68,000 ideally, in order to flip bullish on the larger timeframes. And so that is the situation right now for the price of Bitcoin. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take just about all of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive airdrop position right now that you can claim over on Bybit if you use that link below this video. So it's essentially a free $500 trade if you use the link below this video to basically make your Bybit account, make a deposit, and then claim the airdrop. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there's also Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which means if you're in the US or the UK, for example, or another country where you might not be able to access Bybit, you can access Bitfinex. So I'll also leave a link to Bitfinex down below this video. And if you use that link, you can get up to a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitfinex exchange forever. But that's only if you use the link below this video to make your Bitfinex account. And so as another option out there, other than Bybit, once again, there's Bitfinex links down below if you want to claim those extra bonuses. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and obviously, as I said in my last video, we've already wiped out a lot of those long positions that were sitting at just underneath $60,000. And so that meant that we no longer really have a lot of liquidity immediately to the downside. We did have a small amount of liquidity in between around 58,000 to close to 59,000. But with that being said, it's not really a massive amount of liquidity. It's just a small area of liquidity. And as of right now, at the time of recording this video, we're currently seeing the price of Bitcoin take out some liquidity at around 61,500. And we also have some more liquidity at around 63,000, give or take, and a decent amount of liquidity at around 64,500 to 65,000. So just keep those levels in mind. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, right now we're still very much within the larger bearish trend because we've not yet fully confirmed a bullish trend reversal on the larger time frames. But with that being said, we're still holding above this significant area of support in between 2150 to 2.2k, and we still have a decent amount of resistance close to 2,500 and massive resistance at around 2.8k based on previous support and a previous Fibonacci level of support. And with that being said, taking a look at the 12-hour time frame, and some good news is that over the last 1 day, the price of ETH held above this area of support and basically never confirmed a candle close below this level of support, which is the neckline. That's the point that we need to break below in order to confirm the head and shoulders pattern and the bearish price target for the pattern. And that neckline still sitting at close to 2360. And so once again, at least for now, we're still holding above that level, which means this pattern has not confirmed as of right now, which means we have no bearish price target. As I've explained over the last couple of days, that only confirms if we see a break below at least this neckline and ideally below this support, which for now has not happened. And so this is some good news to see the price actually bounce from this level and hold this area. Basically, the bulls are defending this line on the chart. But with that being said, we still have a decent amount of resistance to the upside, starting at around 2440 to 2470, which is where we rejected from last time. And above that, we have resistance right here based on previous support and resistance in between around 2550 to 2580. And above that, we have significant resistance in between 2.7k to 2.8k. And now, if we can actually break above this area of resistance, this first area, so ideally breaking out above around 2470 to 2480 with candle closes, then in that circumstance, if we see that signal confirm, that breakout confirm, then we could potentially be repeating history with a double bottom pattern with a slightly higher low on the price chart. Very similar price structure right now to what we saw back here in the first half of September. And now, once again, we still need to actually see the confirmed breakout above this resistance, but it's just if that confirms, if we see the confirmed breakout, then we could likely see a continued bullish relief, basically a bit of a short-term bullish trend, maybe lasting for close to a week if we're going off what we saw last time, if we first confirm a breakout above around 2470 to 2480 based on this previous example and a double bottom pattern actually playing out. And so personally, I'd look to potentially take that as a trading opportunity, not financial advice, but personally, I'd look at a potential long position if we first confirm a breakout above this local high, as I just explained. But with that being said, taking a look at Solana on the daily time frame, and just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, Solana has also held this critical area on the price chart in between around 137 to 142. So for now, that is still currently acting as major support. We have seen multiple bounces from that area so far. But if we were to see a confirmed break below this area of support, then in that case, we would likely see a move down towards the next significant area of support in between around 120 to 128. But remember, for now, we're still holding above this area, which is still acting as support. But with that being said, even though we have this bit of good news in the short term that we're holding above this area of support and seeing a slight bounce here, of course, we still have a lot of resistance to the upside to pay attention to, starting at close to 152 to 154 acting as resistance. And we still have this significant area of resistance right here in between around 159 to 163. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the 6-hour Solana chart, similar to Bitcoin, the 6-hour Solana RSI got very close to oversold territories. Now, it didn't actually make it into oversold territories, but it got very close, meaning we were starting to run out of room to the downside. We were getting very close to seeing some sort of bounce either way. And so, as I explained in my last video just yesterday, I said in that video yesterday that we should be expecting at some point in the next 1 or 2 days, we should be expecting most likely a bit of a bounce or at least some choppy sideways price action. So a break or relief from this bearish price action here, due to the fact that the RSI is getting very close to oversold territories. So right now we're seeing exactly that. And as I've also explained here on the channel many times, usually Solana and the overall crypto market kind of follows along with what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing, especially Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin pumps or bounces or dumps and crashes, basically the overall crypto market's likely going to play out something similar. And also similar to Ethereum, Solana has a possible double bottom pattern, also known as a W pattern, forming on this chart right here. But ultimately, in order to confirm that double bottom pattern and that bullish price target for this pattern, we need to see a breakout above around 149 to 150, so above this high right here with confirmation. And if we see that confirmed breakout above around 149, give or take, confirming the double bottom pattern, then that will set up a bullish price target for that double bottom pattern sitting at close to 163. So basically returning back into this area of resistance right here as a likely scenario if we first confirm a breakout above this local high right here, as I just explained, which for now has not happened. And so remember, as I've explained many times on this channel, the shorter term timeframes flip between bullish and bearish very often. So yesterday could be looking very bearish, today could be looking very bullish, tomorrow could be bearish again. If we're looking at the small timeframes, that's simply the nature of small timeframes and short term price action. But if we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, the larger timeframes, these rarely change direction. They take a lot longer to change direction. And with that being said, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, once again, check out those links down below this video to get those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.